Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through some really fascinating sources and pull out the absolute gems for you. Today, we're cutting through the noise around, well, personal branding. It's definitely more than just a buzzword we hear all the time. Our sources, they show it as like your most powerful digital asset, your unique professional identity in, let's face it, a pretty competitive world. We've pulled insights from big names like Grammarly, Shopify, Copyblogger. Each one offers, really rich perspectives and some incredibly practical steps. So our mission today is to go beyond the basics, really distill the crucial stuff, help you understand not just what a personal brand is, but why it matters so much, and how you can actually build and manage one to, well, open doors you didn't even know were there. Okay, let's unpack this. So personal brand. We hear it thrown around constantly, but what is it really? Like when you strip away all the jargon, our sources really stress it's not some vague idea. It's your unique professional identity. It's your reputation, right? How you talk, your skills, your values, even the connections you make. Think of it maybe as a carefully crafted, sort of formalized version of your professional self, like a code you operate by out in the world.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how deep that goes. It really is your story, reflecting your character, values, strengths, and even how you relate to your community. It's way more than just, a LinkedIn page or an Instagram feed. Think about your website colors or the music you might use for a podcast intro or just the tone of your bio. It's all part of it. Seth Godin, the ethical marketing guy, he had a great definition. Something like, a brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that makes someone choose one thing over another. And the key thing is that applies just as much to individuals as it does to businesses.
Right. And that brings us to the next really critical point, doesn't it? If we all have this individual brand,
Yeah.
why is it so vital for every professional, regardless of where they are in their career?
Well, it really boils down to a few core benefits that honestly give you a lot of leverage. First, there's career growth. Simple as that. A well-put-together brand shows off your value, your strengths. And that naturally opens doors. New roles, promotions, maybe partnerships you wouldn't have found otherwise. Then you've got networking. A strong brand kind of acts like a magnet, yeah? It pulls in people who think like you, potential mentors, useful contacts who just get your values or what you're doing in your industry. And, super important, it builds credibility and trust. If your brand feels strong, transparent, consistent, people see you as an authority. They trust you more, engage more, support you more. And finally, it's about hitting your goals. Whether you're job hunting or an entrepreneur looking for funding or maybe a creator building an audience. Being thoughtful about your brand helps you get there, and it gives you a kind of template for scaling across different platforms later on.
So it's not just about being visible, but attracting the right kind of attention and opportunities. Okay. So given how powerful this is, how do you actually build it, this unique digital fingerprint? Where do you even start? Before we dive into the step-by-step, the how-to, maybe we should talk about the foundations. Like, what are the absolute core pieces you need for a strong personal brand?
Right, the cornerstone, the thing that really makes you different. That's your unique value proposition, your UVP. This is all about your specific strengths, skills, experiences, even your passions that make you stand out. To figure it out, you got to ask some tough questions like, what am I really good at? How do I show it? Or what in my background gives me a unique viewpoint? And how do my personal passions actually connect to my work? So for instance, a solid UVP might sound something like, I boost team success by bringing clarity, efficiency, and strategic thinking. Using a hands-on approach and proven methods, I help businesses cut waste, ramp up productivity, and foster continuous improvement, getting real results. See, specific.
Okay, so it's really nailing down what makes you you and what you specifically bring to the table.
Got it.
What comes next?
Next up is your personal brand story. And this is, it's more than just a CV or a list of wins. It's about sharing what motivates you, maybe some struggles you've overcome, key moments that shaped you. It should feel like a real journey of growth. Think about, say, challenges you tackled and what they taught you. Or maybe a mentor who really changed how you see things. Sharing that stuff. It helps people connect emotionally. It adds that layer of authenticity that makes your brand memorable.
And values. How did they fit into this? I guess they're pretty closely linked to the story, right?
Oh, absolutely. Your core values are like the guiding stars for your brand. They define its mission, and they really shape how people see you. So if, say, innovation and integrity are big values for you, well, that needs to show up in everything you do, how you handle projects, how you interact with people, even how you respond to feedback. These values are crucial because they help you maintain a consistent, authentic voice. Make sure your actions actually match up with what you say you're about.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, how does this all look? Because it's not just words, is it? Presentation matters.
Exactly right. Your visual identity is huge for consistency and just making people recognize you instantly. We're talking everything from, your best professional headshots, maybe a logo if you have one,
Yeah.
to the specific colors and fonts you use on LinkedIn, your website, everywhere. If your brand is about creativity, maybe your visuals are bold, expressive, but they still need to clearly signal your authority. The whole point is to create this cohesive, professional, trustworthy look across the board, instantly recognizable.
Okay, groundwork laid. We get what a personal brand is, the key
Yeah.
parts. Now, for the actionable stuff, our sources, they offer slightly different paths, but what's the combined wisdom for someone starting out or maybe just wanting to sharpen their brand? What's the playbook look like?
It almost always starts with some deep, sometimes kind of uncomfortable self-reflection. Step one, self-reflect and pick your niche. This is about really summing up who you are. Ask yourself, what truly gets me fired up? What do I absolutely not want people to think about me? What defines me? My values? What's unique? What are my goals? And that thinking naturally leads you to niche selection. The idea is to become the go-to person for a specific topic. That makes monetizing way easier down the line, and it attracts followers who are genuinely interested in that one thing. When you're picking that niche, think about three things. First, earning potential. Seriously, what problem are you solving? Who are you solving it for? And how much is solving that problem actually worth to them? Like the example, solving how to build a monetizable audience for high net worth entrepreneurs. Well, that could be worth millions to them, right? Because they use that brand to get customers for their main business. Second, interest. You've got to be genuinely passionate about this. You'll be living and breathing it almost daily. And third, expertise. And here's the thing. Our sources point out you don't always need decades of experience. Sometimes the best content, the best brand story, comes from just documenting your learning journey now, or sharing experiments you're running. That whole learning in public thing can make you an authority even if you're relatively new to the space.
That learning in public point is really interesting. Okay, so you've done the internal work, you know yourself, you've got your niche. Who are you talking to?
Right, that's step two. Identify your target audience and focus. You need to be super clear on who you want to reach. Is it potential bosses,
Yeah.
clients, colleagues, industry leaders? Then you got to research them. What do they actually care about? What keeps them up at night? How does your unique angle fit their needs? Knowing this lets you tailor your message so it actually resonates, so it speaks to them. For example, if you're targeting tech entrepreneurs, your brand probably needs to scream innovation, problem solving, showing off skills they specifically value.
Okay, know yourself, know your niche, know your audience. Now, how do you make sure your message actually lands? In this incredibly noisy world, how do you connect?
That's step three. Perfect your brand messaging and tell a story. This is literally how you present yourself, your tone, the exact words you use to describe what you do, how you help your audience. Good brand messaging, it has to be specific, like crystal clear. Someone hits your profile, they should instantly get what you do and why they should care. It also needs to be clear. Clarity beats cleverness, always. Ditch the jargon, the vague stuff like, I help businesses grow, be precise. I help freelance designers land high-paying clients without using job boards. Boom. Specific. Your messaging also has to be consistent. Same vibe, same core message across your website, social media, all your content. And maybe most importantly, it has to be authentic. It needs to sound like you, reflect your actual personality. Then, beyond just the words, you weave this into your brand story. It needs to hang together, showcasing your experience, skills, values. Map out the journey, how you got here, the bumps in the road, the wins. Share those moments that really mattered, what you learned. Remember, a good story is honest, relatable. It's about growth, not just bragging. And visual storytelling counts too. What colors feel like you? What's the vibe of your headshot? Photos or illustrations? Think of someone like Alice Thorpe, the creator. Her bio uses words like creative, crafty, DIY, passion. It perfectly matches her on-camera energy. It's cohesive.
Right, so the message is sharp, the story is compelling. Now it's time to actually build that online presence. You've got the narrative. Where do you put it? What platforms really matter? And how do you actually use them effectively?
Yeah, your online presence is often that crucial first impression. So step 4 is build your online presence. First, optimize LinkedIn. That means a clear, concise headline role, key strengths. Use that summary section to really tell your brand story, highlight achievements, values, feature actual work samples if you can, ask for endorsements, they add social proof. And use LinkedIn features. Publish articles, jump into relevant groups. It expands your reach. Then leverage social media beyond just LinkedIn. Think strategically. Different platforms have different strengths, right? X, Twitter. And threads are great for quick thoughts, industry news. Instagram's obviously more visual. Use them in a way that reinforces your core message. Engage with people. And critically, figure out where your target audience actually hangs out and be there. Finally, create a personal website or blog. This is your home base, your central hub. It lets you consolidate everything. Portfolio, blog, testimonials, your About Me story. It gives the full picture. And keep that blog updated. Share insights, case studies. It reinforces your expertise.
Okay, so you've built the digital storefront. You're present online. Now, what do you actually put in it? How do you consistently share stuff that makes people see you as a leader, that reinforces that brand you've carefully built?
Good question. That leads us to step 5. Share thought leadership content and create a content strategy. This is how you really establish yourself as an expert, a go-to resource. So write articles, make videos, share your takes on industry trends, challenges, new ideas, maybe host a webinar, write guest posts for respected blogs. Just consistently sharing valuable stuff strengthens your brand and draws people in. And your content strategy itself, it needs to be built on value, always. Think about retaining your audience, building loyalty by always giving them something useful. Your content should really do one of two things. Either spark an emotion, maybe a story about a failure, a personal insight, a controversial opinion, or be obviously useful right now. Things like tool lists, how I got these results, X tips for Y, X mistakes that cost me, X examples of success, practical stuff. And something our sources really highlight is content repurposing. Smart, right? Create something for one platform, say X Twitter, then adapt it. Turn it into an Instagram carousel, a Pinterest pin, a LinkedIn post, a Threads discussion. Maybe expand a tweet thread into a full blog post. Make sure that blog post targets a keyword people actually search for. Use tools like Keywords Everywhere to find those. Things like ChatGPT prompts or content ideas. Understand the search intent. Then there's content distribution. Getting eyes on your stuff early on, that's tough. First, get good at creating content, but once it's quality, getting engagement from others is key. So engage with other accounts, build real relationships with creators in your space, especially those who share others' work. You could also pay bigger accounts for shares or comments to get a boost. And once you have, say, a few thousand followers, maybe form a small engagement pod with peers. You all agree to like, comment, share each other's stuff. Helps everyone grow.
That's a really practical breakdown for getting content out there. But how do you keep it all going, make it sustainable, and, maybe even make some money from it? It's easy to have a burst of energy, but the long game, that's the real test. Yeah, personal brand isn't static, is it? It has to grow with you. So what's essential for that long-term success?
Totally. Step 6 is monitor and evolve your brand authentically. You got to regularly check in. Is my brand still aligned with my goals? Is it still relevant? Maybe you need to tweak your story, update your visuals, even re-examine your core values as you progress in your career. Being adaptable shows growth. Pay attention to what's working. Which posts get engagement? What feedback are you getting? Are you attracting the right kind of opportunities? And a key piece of advice here, don't just jump on trends if they don't feel like you. Authenticity matters. If you do pivot, tell your audience why. Bring them along. Step 7, build relationships and network. Actively participate. Industry communities, conferences, follow-ups. Make it a priority. Strong relationships can lead to amazing things. Mentorship, partnerships, new career directions. Focus on connecting with people who genuinely align with your goals and values. It's quality over quantity. Then, step 8, public speaking and continuous learning. Getting up and speaking. It's a powerful way to amplify your brand. Look for chances, conferences, workshops, webinars. Share what you know. It showcases your expertise and your communication skills. And never stop learning. Workshops, certifications, courses. Staying sharp is vital to keep your brand competitive. The landscape is always changing. Finally, step 9. Create an offer and simple funnel. Look, the point of building this audience is often to eventually sell something. A common mistake our sources warn against is launching products too soon. Instead, they often suggest starting with a recurring service, especially if you only have a few thousand followers. Think about it. Even a $1,000 a month service, that's $12K a year from just one client. Premium, done for your services, tend to be the most profitable. And you don't even need a fancy website to start. A simple Typeform, Google form, Calendly page can work. Just make sure you include proof testimonials. Maybe do some initial work for free just to get those crucial first ones.
Right. Build the trust, then offer the service. Makes sense. So what does this mean for actually monetizing, turning that influence into real income?
Well, the whole creator economy is pretty much built on personal brands, right? Sure, you can make money on platforms through ads, sponsorships, but moving your audience to owned channels, that's generally more sustainable. You control it. So some ideas. Launch a website, collect emails. An email list means you own that audience connection. Offer something free like exclusive content to get signups. You could introduce a subscription model. Think Patreon, fan clubs, give subscribers extra perks, sell merch through an online store, like on Shopify. It extends your brand into physical stuff. Print on demand makes it easy, no inventory headaches, and eventually sell content like tutorials or courses. This works best once you've really built that trust, like Colin and Samir teaching YouTube storytelling. Or think about Sanja de Trinidad. She went from mortgage pro to succulent influencer, then used that audience to launch her plant business. It shows how passion plus brand can equal business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So many possibilities once you build that foundation.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a lot of work, and we know many people start and then stop. What are the common tripwires, the mistakes people make that cause them to give up?
Yeah, there are definitely a few common pitfalls. First, inconsistency across platforms. You might adapt your style slightly, sure, but if your core message or look is all over the place, it confuses people, weakens your brand. Everything needs to feel connected. Second, ignoring online reputation management. You have to monitor what people are saying. Reviews, comments, mentions. Respond professionally, even to negative stuff. It shows you're accountable. And probably the biggest one, honestly, the one our sources hit on again and again, lack of consistency and patience. Building a strong brand, it doesn't happen overnight. Expect months, maybe years of steady effort. So many people quit too early because they don't see instant results. It really needs consistent daily work, even if it's just like 10 minutes a day. Seriously.
10 minutes a day. That sounds so simple, but I bet it's harder than it looks to maintain. It's that consistency, isn't it? That drip, drip, drip. It really highlights that personal branding isn't about one viral hit. It's about showing up day after day. It's a marathon. So as we've heard today, building a personal brand, it's really about intentional self-expression, strategic communication, and just consistent engagement. It's wrapping your unique value in a compelling story and then sharing it authentically.
And if you think about the bigger picture, it's not just about landing a job or making some cash. It's about consciously deciding how you want to show up in the world, influencing how people see you, and ultimately building a legacy that feels, well, truly you. It's like your professional persona, maybe slightly different from your private self, but still authentic and something you can maintain consistently.
Which leaves a big question for you, listening right now. In this world just drowning in information, how will you make sure your digital fingerprint leaves the impression you want it to? And maybe more importantly, what's one small thing, one tiny step you could take today to start consciously crafting that story?